Welcome to episode 19 of the Credit Card BS podcast. My name is Sean. I'm the UC Berkeley graduate that created and taught the university-sponsored course on credit card rewards. I'm here with my co-host, Sherwin.
Hi everyone, I'm Sherwin. I'm a Stanford student who's really into credit cards, points, miles, and travel hacks. I'm very happy to join Sean here today to talk about some of the tricks I've learned along the way. The reason this podcast is called the Credit Card BS podcast, as many of you probably know by now, the initials B and S stand for Berkeley and Stanford, respectively, the schools that Sean and I attend. But as normal, we've put aside our differences today to talk about credit card rewards and travel hacks. So today's episode is actually the first of a two-parter. So we're going to be talking about the world's best points redemptions. So in this first segment, we're going to talk about the world's best hotel redemptions. And then you'll have to join us next week for the world's best flight redemptions. But we're going to start with hotels this time. So Sean, why don't you kick us off with a disclaimer?
Yeah, so as a disclaimer here, these are all subjective. There's no real way to evaluate objectively the world's best points redemptions. We're really going off of the rarity here of, how exclusive it is to book these hotels, the cents per point, and the cool factor. How cool are these hotels? How unique are they? Does this give us a unique experience? So we're going with that disclaimer, don't go into the comments and say, oh, this one has higher cents per point or than that one. No, these are purely subjective. So Sherman, do you want to kick us off with the first points redemption on this list?
Yeah, so we're going to have to start with the Maldives, of course. We're talking about the best redemption. Now, remember, keep in mind, Maldives hotels are very, very expensive. We're talking about thousands of dollars a night. And, some people really spend this much money on their honeymoons and whatnot. But we're going to start with the Waldorf Astoria Maldives. Now, Waldorf Astoria is considered the top tier luxury brand of Hilton hotels. So, this place costs thousands of dollars a night. It's like this gorgeous resort, and each person gets their own little villa on the water. But, obviously we're not going to be paying cash for that. That would be absurd. We're going to be looking at using Hilton Honors points. Now, this does cost typically 150,000 Hilton points, so quite a lot. But if you think about how much the cash rate is, it's a really good value for your Hilton points. Keep in mind, if you have any type of Hilton status, Hilton Silver, Gold, or Diamond, you will get the 5th night free. What this means is that when you book 5 nights in a row, you'll only be charged for 4 of those nights in terms of points. So that can bring your average cost down quite a bit. You're also able to use Hilton free night certificates. Now, we talked about these free night certificates plenty on this episode. Go check out plenty on this podcast. Go check out our episode on Hilton hacks. Basically, what's so cool about these certificates is that they can literally be used at any property in the world, including Waldorf Astoria Maldives. Now, the tricky part is you're going to have to find standard room availability, but assuming that you can, that means you can literally redeem one of your certificates at this top tier aspirational property. You can earn these certificates through the Hilton Aspire card. That automatically comes with one each anniversary year. Super good value. We'll talk about it a lot. Or you can spend $15,000 on Hilton Surpass or the Hilton Business Card in a calendar year and earn additional certificates that way. So, Sean, what's your take on this property, especially because there are other points redemptions in the Maldives, right? This property specifically costs a lot more Hilton Honors points. Availability can be pretty hard to come by, especially if you're looking for a 5-day block that has to be consecutive, take advantage of 5th night free. So is it worth going for this one as opposed to other Maldives properties?
Yeah, it's going to be tricky. So I put this one on this list for a few reasons. One, in my opinion, it is the best Hilton points redemption, or at least the most luxurious and spectacular Hilton points redemption, period. There's really no hotels that come to this level. It's $2,500 a night for the standard room. So it is extraordinarily expensive. It is the most opulent and luxurious points bookable hotel in the Maldives, period. None are even close. Now, there may be better hotels, depending on certain metrics, but in terms of opulence and pure luxury, this is going to be number one. And so it's a real baller experience. The base rooms are gigantic. My God, they have massive pools, huge outdoor spaces, vaulted ceilings, over water. They are the works. So if you can book it, it's amazing. But as Sherwin said, it's really tough. It is hard to book this place. The best case is really one of two things. One, if you get lucky in time, an award dump. So sometimes they'll dump a bunch of award nights simultaneously across multiple dates. To, be alerted of that, you'll have to be like up to date on a blog or something, or have an award alert service, or joining the Travel Lane Discord group at the link in the description, where we alert you to amazing deals, including rare hotel award dumps. But so if you're able to, time those award dumps, it could be easier to book. The other way is if you're looking close in. So like, maybe within a couple weeks to a month, then it can be easier to piece these nights together. Or like an award alert service like maxmypoint.com is a great resource. I think as an alternative, just real quickly for like other Maldives hotels, Park Hyatt Alila Maldives, super easy to book on Hyatt Points, 30 to 35,000 Hyatt Points, 35,000 Hyatt Points per night. Another one is Conrad Maldives, 120,000 Hilton Points per night. Those options are significantly easier, but they don't have the real wow factor that Waldorf Astoria Maldives has.
Yeah, if you think about 150,000 Hilton points, now we know like Hilton points aren't worth as much, but it's 150,000 is still a lot. Think about, you can buy Hilton points on sale for half a cent per point each. So if you were to buy the points necessary for one night at the Waldorf Astoria Maldives, it'd be $750. Perhaps less if you're factoring fifth night free, but assuming you aren't, like $750 for one night is still quite a bit. I mean, it's a huge discount. So by all means, if you were intending to pay cash for Waldorf Astoria Maldives, buy points is the way to go here. When you're on sale, perhaps cent per point, but it's still pretty steep in my opinion. Sean, would you agree?
Yeah, I'd agree. It's a steep cost. Again, it's worth it if you are willing to pay cash for it. Obviously it's significantly cheaper, but it's expensive regardless. And so that's why it's like one of these super rare and exclusive award redemptions.
Okay, I think we should talk about that next cool location, I guess, Bora. So Hilton also has a property here, Conrad Bora. Now, I'm not as familiar with this property, so Sean, why don't you?
So I haven't stayed here either myself. So this is bookable for 120,000 Hilton Honors points per night. So $600 if you're buying them on sale before fifth night free. Now, this is really cool because Bora is a great alternative to the Maldives, especially if you're based in the west coast of the United States. So getting to the Maldives from the United States basically is 20 hours of flight time around. So it's a really, really big journey to get there. Bora, on the other hand, you can take like an 8-hour flight from the west coast. You land in like Tahiti first and take like an hour flight from there or something. But it's much, much, much easier to do. And you still have kind of, the crystal blue waters, the overwater villa experience. So that's really great. Now the Conrad though, it's hard-ish to book. It's much, much easier than the Waldorf Astoria Maldives to book, but I wouldn't call it necessarily easy. If you're booking far out, it's not too difficult to do. The only thing I'll say is you're not booking into an overwater villa with the Conrad. You're actually you're booking into a suite in the hotel. Like it's in a little building and it's a suite, which is really nice. It's big and everything. But, you do have to rely on that upgrade or a cash copay to get to the overwater bungalow or villa status. So that's just something to know. But it does look like a really cool property and has been on my list for a while.
Yes, I'll just throw in pretty briefly. Alternatively, like if you're looking to go to Bora, there's a couple good IHG options. I think there's a couple Continentals and Holiday Inns. I mean, again, you're going to have to try to find availability or whatever. But if you're using points and IHG's fourth night free benefit with their credit cards, can be good value. I think I might have read somewhere that they recently just devalued one of the Intercontinentals. It's like twice as expensive now, which is a huge bummer. But they also have, I'm not sure if like the other ones also went up, but you can go do some research on IHG. I mean, historically, a lot of people have used IHG points for Bora. That's like one of the best destinations.
Yeah, I think it's definitely like something to look into. And you're right, like one of them devalued. I don't think the other one did. And it is tough to book, so you have to monitor the award availability. I think now we should move on to a extremely unique one. This is, without a doubt, the hardest one on this list to book. This may be if not one of the top 5 to 10 most exclusive points redemptions in the world. Okay, this is Calala Island. So Calala Island is part of Small Luxury Hotels of the World. Now, Hyatt has a partnership with Small Luxury Hotels of the World where some of their properties are points bookable. This is a Category 8 hotel, meaning it will cost 40,000 World of Hyatt points for a standard night. Now, there's a 3-night minimum stay, okay? And this is absurdly, and I mean absurdly, difficult to book. Why is it so difficult? There are 4 to 5 rooms on the island. I believe they just added one.
It's
and
4,
now what is that?
right?
Was
they
it
added
4?
one?
Someone said something about them adding a 5th room. I'm not sure on that. But at most, there's 5 rooms, 2 of which are points bookable. That is insane. It is extremely, extremely exclusive hotel. Now, why is it so expensive? Why is it 40,000 points? What is the cash rate? So cash rates are like $3,000 a night, even higher if you're going during peak season. It could be $3,500, $4,000 a night plus. It is ultra all-inclusive though. So
Yeah.
it's an island off the coast of Nicaragua. From the moment you land in Managua to the moment you leave, everything is included. The transfers to the hotel, back to the airport, the food at the hotel, experiences, everything. The only thing you have to pay for is ultra premium alcohol or spa treatments. And so it's a really unique experience. You're on it's not like opulent luxury. It's a raw, rustic luxury. 5 rooms. The service is supposed to be amazingly top tier. Again, anything you want, round the clock, whatever you need, all taken care of because it's ultra all inclusive. It is not an experience for everyone. I have this property booked actually for a week straight. And now how did I book it? How did I secure a week straight here? Well, I used an alert from maxmypoint.com, and then in the Travel Lane Discord group, I made a ping out to all our members, again, completely free to join, that there was a massive award dump, the biggest award dump I've ever seen for this place. And plenty of people were able to grab it. So it's a case for this place, you needed to grab it on an award dump. It's super exclusive. And just one note on my recommendation here, even though it's a 3-night minimum stay, don't come for 3 nights. It is way too much of a journey. Bare minimum should be 4, 5, 6 is more ideal. Sherwin, what are your thoughts on this hotel?
Yeah, I just want to emphasize something in case it wasn't entirely clear. This entire island is the hotel, is the resort, right? It's not like the hotel is on or part of an island. No, the entire island is the resort. There are literally only maximum 8 people, maybe 10 if they added the extra room, but literally 8 people staying at any one time on this entire island. And there are about 20 or so people who work there and provide service for those 8 people. So think about like how exclusive that is. I think that's an important point to hammer home. I also would agree probably more nights would be better, given that it's so difficult to make the journey out there. You can do a quick online search. It's quite a complicated process because it is a small island, but it would be a once in a lifetime experience for sure if you can go. Like, I don't know, for most people, $2,000 a night is just not like something we would typically do. So the fact that we can get access to this with around 40,000 points, Hyatt points a night is just absolutely insane. And we can earn those points easily using credit card sign up bonuses from like Chase Ink cards, Chase Sapphire cards, because they earn ultimate rewards that can be transferred to World of Hyatt or on the World of Hyatt credit cards as well.
Definitely. It's a really unique opportunity. It's an amazing opportunity that, not only are we able to go to these like big corporate resorts, but a really unique and exclusive experience like this. Like this is something that, again, there's only 4 to 5 rooms at the most. And I believe like sometimes they close for part of the year as well. So it's like, this is one of the most, like this is way more exclusive, for example, than like Emirates first class points redemption wise. Because there's only 2 rooms you can book on points per night. So a very, very finite number of people will ever be able to experience this hotel. And so if you're one of those people that's able to secure it, it's a really cool thing. So it's a category 8, as we said. Now, another option, an all-inclusive option, if you are, wanting to spend a similar number of points. Sherwin, do you want to talk about this? This is one that both of us have been to. This is the only one that both of us have been to on this list.
Yes.
So, which property
this
are we
is
talking about?
Alila Ventana Big Sur in California. I really love this property. It is all-inclusive, which is really cool, except for alcohol. But like most people literally go there and like eat all day. We could talk about that more in a bit, but it's bookable using Hyatt points. So it's category 8 now, unfortunately. So be 40,000 points, typically 45,000 if it's on peak, which is still really good value because usually this costs 1,000, 2,000 a night. They're also very generous with upgrades from my experience. If you have World of Hyatt Elite status, they do pretty well on that. You get lunch, you get dinner, you get breakfast, you get room service, all included. They have like an afternoon snack sort of thing. Forgot the exact name. And Sean, do you want to kind of talk about like the physical property itself?
Oh my God, the property's gorgeous. So you're like in the Big Sur, forest here, perfectly manicured. You have like giant, trees around you. So peaceful, so relaxing. It is an experience. It is a really, really unique experience. And it's something you'll never forget if you go there. This was actually my first ever hotel I booked on points. Now, it wasn't actually my first stay because I booked it so far in advance, but it was my second stay. I actually had stayed there twice. I booked it even before I had done the first stay that I had booked in advance. And it was really amazing. It's something I'll never forget. It's a place I really want to go back. The food's amazing. The service is nice. The way the resort is maintained is pristine. It's so relaxing, having this like forest escape. It's tricky for me because one, it's really tough to book now. They've restricted the award availability where it used to be the standard room was a 1 king fireplace. They've now set the standard room as a 1 king non-fireplace, which I didn't even know was a room category before. So it is extraordinarily tough to now book. It's been very restricted. And also at 40,000 World of Hyatt points, it's tough for me to justify. Because again, for 40,000 World of Hyatt points, I could stay at Calala Island. Or for 30,000 World of Hyatt points, I could stay in the Maldives. So it's gotten a bit tougher for me to, say I'm going to do this. But it really is a unique experience. It really is something that is a special hotel, and it's so cool to go there and relax. And it's, it's not typical all-inclusive food. It's amazing, high-quality food that you can have anytime you want.
I think it's just cool that like they have this in California. Usually all-inclusives, you got to go to like Mexico or Caribbean, those types of places, or cruises, I guess. And also like, or you got to go to Maldives for kind of the exclusive vibe. The fact that like it's in California, I think is great, especially for both of us who live in California. So I mean, I kind of agree that like, if you think about strictly like, yes, category 8 is really expensive considering you could go to Park Hyatt Maldives for category 7 or whatever. But like, to be fair, like I think the transportation to go to the Maldives or transportation to get to Calala Island even is so like significantly burdensome and expensive that like I'm not so sure I can just like directly make the argument that Ventana Big Sur is not worth it anymore because look at these other places I could go to. What do you think?
No, that's a very fair point, especially for people that don't have as much travel flexibility. If you like, let's say you're based in the Bay Area, my God, it's an amazing redemption and it's so close. So I think it still does have that value. And I forgot to mention also the cash price. It's like $2,500 a night if you're paying cash. So very, very good cents per point. There's only two types of guests staying there. It's either points people. So if you're into points, you'll have a lot of people to chat with. Like, trust me, there's a lot of points people there. Or it's like mega, mega wealthy people. That's it. And it's really interesting to see and interact with the guests there.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think the cash prices are inflated and overpriced. Not something I would personally pay for myself, at least right now. But like, if you have the World of Hyatt points, great. I mean, what's your opinion on like how many nights someone should stay here? So like my opinion is like I'm actually more fine doing like shorter stays. I only went here for 1 night. And I thought it was totally adequate, but I think Sean might have a different opinion.
Yeah, so actually my first stay was actually for 1 night as well. What it was is I was driving home because I was, it's end of the semester. I was going to drive home back to Southern California, and I was checking like the hotels. Like, let me see if Ventana's open. It wasn't open early in the day. I'm eating dinner. It's like 8 o'clock at night, and I'm like, oh my God, there's a standard room at Ventana tomorrow. And I tell my girlfriend, guess what? We're going to Ventana. I booked it, and it was like 12 hours before we got there. I had booked it for that single night, and we had a great time. So I think 1 night was enough. But because we were, based in the Bay Area and it was a drive away, we didn't have to fly there. I think, my second stay was 3 nights. That felt more complete. Honestly, it really depends on your travel style. I would not see it being a problem if you did 5 nights there. Beyond that,
really, I think it would be a problem if I did 5 nights there.
It depends. It depends how many points you have.
No, I would get bored. I think there's only like a set number of things you can do. I mean, yes, the food is great, the environment is awesome, right? But it's not like it's loaded with all different types of activities every day that's changing all day, right? So like I think more than 2 nights would be monotonous in my opinion, but maybe that's an unpopular take.
And I definitely see that point, and a lot of people I talk to have the same view. I think 3 nights is fine. Like I don't imagine you'd get bored after 3 nights. I could be wrong on that. Again, it depends on like your travel style. Are you someone that if you're in a nice forest, laying by the pool, is that something you enjoy, or do you prefer, more doing activities and going out during the day? So it really does depend on your travel style. I think it's going to heavily depend on how many points you have. I think 3 nights is fine. I think 3 nights is probably a good target to like feel like it. 2 nights is also good. Again, it also depends where you're coming from. Like if you're coming all the way from the East Coast just to this resort, you got to stay, probably 4 or 5 nights to make that journey worth it. But if you're based in the Bay Area, or you're just driving up for a few hours to it, then, a shorter stay is more than sufficient.
Yeah, awesome. I think that takes care of this property really well. So let's talk about the next one. This one I think is really, really interesting. So this is the Kimpton Seafire in the Grand Cayman Islands. I think out of all of the ones we've talked today, this is probably the most insane in terms of the value from the points. It still boggles me that you can book this property literally for 70,000 IHG points, at least at the time of this recording, assuming they don't devalue. Please don't devalue.
Please.
Literally anything. Please don't. 70,000 IHG points. Now, remember from our IHG episode 1, we've talked about this so many times. You can buy IHG points on sale for half a cent per point, right? So this already means you could theoretically buy 70,000 IHG points for $350 and stay here. You'll still have to pay the resort fee, but that's a fraction of what this place normally costs. We're talking about anywhere from $600 to $800, even more than $1,000 for their base rooms, depending on.
If it's peak season, it may be like $1,200 a night. Like I've seen that before.
Yeah. So yeah, it's crazy that it's only 70,000 points, right? And then what's even better is that it's IHG, right? So you can stack this with the 4th night free benefit from one of the credit cards. So literally for 210,000 points, you can stay for 4 nights at this place. I think this is like really an OP redemption that isn't really talked about, and people should look into if they want to maximize their IHG points. I think it's amazing. What do you think?
I 100% agree. I think this is something I am every day praying that they don't devalue. I haven't booked it myself. I had it booked and then I didn't end up going, and I need to secure more reservations there because I need to protect myself in case of a devaluation. And what's also so unique about this place, it's so easy to book. It's like every day is open during like even peak season. It's like not even an issue. So I don't exactly know what's going on. I'm sure the cash prices are like inflated, but so is everything in Grand Cayman. It is such a good redemption. I've heard great things about the hotel as well. It is something that I'm like scared honestly talking about because it's something that it's only a matter of time before they devalue it. It's now the one thing is there is an $80 a night resort fee, which sucks. So that you do have to pay that regardless of points. So that's annoying. But like still, man, like that is so unbelievably cheap because with 4th night free, and you buy the points on sale, it's $262.50. I didn't do that calculation on my head. I believe I had it memorized because I've been so obsessed with this hotel of how good of a redemption it is. So the fact that like for $262.50, you can stay at a hotel that normally has base rates at $1,000 a night before even the taxes is insane. And you can do it like any day. Like it's wide open anytime you want it. And so it's something I want to go here for 8 nights, to be honest. I want to book 2 4-night reservations, and which is a long time, sure. But it's like, man, I'd love to just go relax on Grand Cayman because it's so cheap.
Yes. I will have to add that one really nice thing about booking points here. Like normally when you book a hotel room on points, you can only book the very base room. But this hotel lets you book not only the base room, but also the ocean view room, I believe, which is the next category up, for both the 1 king and the 2 queen options. And it does cost the same number of points. So, if you can secure that ocean view, that's what I would do.
That's a very good point. And that's something that's really nice because, you don't want to, if you're going to Grand Cayman, you don't want to be stuck in like the loser view room. The fact that you can like secure it like as a base without any upgrade is really cool. And it shows me that this property, I'm hoping like they're, purposely doing this to be nice to IHG members. So it's a great place. Now, as the final hotel on this list, I will say that it isn't the highest cents per point value. This is a Marriott redemption. It's not the highest cents per point value that you could get with Marriott points. But the reason it's on this list is because it's a very unique property and it used to not be points bookable. So this is the Ritz Reserve in Mandapa. So it's in Ubud, Bali. Now, let me give a little explanation on what Ritz Reserve is. So you're probably familiar with Ritz-Carlton hotels. So it's like one of Marriott's top brands. It's a luxury, hotel brand. Now, Ritz-Carltons, to be honest, in the luxury hotel world are kind of loser compared to other brands like Mandarin Oriental, Four Seasons, Rosewood, Six Sense. Ritz-Carltons are a little lowbrow for us, okay? So it's not the highest tier brand in the world, but Ritz Reserve is different. So Ritz Reserve is a sub-brand of Ritz-Carlton, and it used to not be part of Marriott Bonvoy. It used to not be points bookable, not points earning eligible, not status eligible, nothing. But recently they brought it into Bonvoy. And so the Ritz Reserve, there's only 5 Ritz Reserves at time of recording in the world. 5 of them. They are ultra exclusive, ultra high-end hotels, supposed to be like on par with the best of the best in the world. On par with Aman's, Rosewood, Six Senses, any of that. They're supposed to be the very pinnacle of the Marriott portfolio. Those and Bulgari hotels are like the tippy top of all of Marriott. So it is a really, really nice hotel. Now this hotel sells for about $1,500 a night cash. So very expensive, which is absurd for Bali. That is insane for Bali because Bali is very cheap. It's 125,000 Marriott points per night, like during peak season. It's pretty easy to book, pretty easy to get award availability here. It's not too difficult. And it's supposed to be, from everything I've seen, a world-class hotel. So, some of the best hotel, like one of the best hotels in the world. Like people that have stayed at insane amounts of very, very nice hotels have said this is one of their favorites of all time. Sherwin, have you heard about this hotel before? Have you, what have you heard about it, and what are your thoughts?
I mean, I'm not that familiar with it, to be honest, and I know neither of us have stayed there. But I do have a question for you. So, Bali, you can get a lot of like amazing resort deals for not very much, right? For example, the Alila Bali, there's an Alila in Bali, I believe, that's like really, really nice, and it's only category 1 on Hyatt, so that's literally 5,000 points a night, standard rate, which is really cheap. And there's a lot of great opportunities. A lot of Bali resorts can be like less than $100, not just a little more than $100 a night. The fact that this place in Bali is, you say something like $1,500 a night, that's like quite a significant jump for the location, right? So in light of that, is it worth spending that many points here?
That's a very good question. It really depends, to be honest. And I haven't stayed here myself. Now, I'm going to Bali very soon, and I want to stay here, to be honest. I'm already spending time at the Alila in Ubud, which is a category 2 Hyatt, and that's also an amazing deal. It's supposed to be very nice. But this place is supposed to be, from everything I've heard, I was on the Marriott subreddit. I'm like, guys, look, it's like 125,000 points. Can I really justify this? Like, is it worth? And people are like, yes, God damn it, book it now. Like, people are telling me that. And so I'm wondering the same thing, to be honest. Like, I'm like, how can it be that good? So I haven't stayed here. I don't know, but that's what I've heard. So I want to stay here. If, I do stay here, I will report back eventually. But it's supposed to be, again, it depends on how much of a luxury experience you're looking for. Because you could say that kind of about any market, hotel markets, right? There are places where you could get cheap hotels in the world, but there's still going to be super, super high-end fancy options for those that want to do it. And
yeah,
it's just going to be, if you really value that, if you want to try something that is that exclusive and high-end, maybe it'll be worth it. But it looks really nice. I want to try it.
And you said the award availability is not too bad?
It's pretty good, to be honest. It seems pretty
Okay.
easy. I was looking in August, which is like peak season, and it's pretty good. The tough part is, if you have to stay 5 nights to get 5th night free. So I'm like trying to, but I wouldn't be staying 5 nights. So it's tough to justify.
Here's the hard part for me about this one, right? Like, I feel like Marriott points are kind of hard to acquire in the credit card world compared to other ones. Like Hyatt transfer from Ultimate Rewards almost always good value, right? IHG, we can buy them at half cent per point on sale, easy to acquire. Marriott's in this weird position where, we would never transfer our Amex or Chase points over because it's not the same value as the other partners like Hyatt. So oftentimes it's less than 1 cent per point, really bad transfer partner. At the same time, earning on the Marriott credit cards themselves isn't super great. Like the multipliers aren't that impressive. So like I feel like Marriott's quite hard to acquire large quantities of points unless you like actually stay a lot in Marriott's but cash rates. So in light of that, how might that affect our analysis of spending 125,000 Marriott points this property?
I'm really glad you brought that up because I'm having the same exact dilemma. I want to say like 400 to 500, probably about 400,000 Marriott points or something. And I don't really have a path to earning more of them. I've already gotten the business Bonvoy card and the Brilliant Bonvoy card. And my player two's also gotten the business card. And she transferred points over to me. And I'm in this conundrum here. I'm like, where am I going to earn any more points? Like maybe referrals on the Marriott cards, but those don't pay that much. It's 20,000 points per referral, which really isn't much compared to like, the ink cards, which pay 40,000 per referral or something. So I'm having the same dilemma. And you're right. It's something you have to consider because if you can stretch your points to say 5 nights at another property, then you're getting 5th night free, and that's stretching your points much further in value than 125,000 a night. I'd say if you're going during off peak, the pricing I'm sure is cheaper. I don't know how the cents per point would be there. One option, and it's not the best option, but I will throw it out there. If you do want to stay at this hotel for cheaper, you can buy Marriott points on sale. It's like 0.86 cents per point, somewhere around that, which is still going to be very expensive to stay at this hotel, no doubt.
Yeah.
But would it be a discount over the cash rate? Yeah, it would be definitely a several $100 a night discount, compared with paying the retail rate.
But you'd still be paying close to $1,000 for one hit. So I don't know how big of it.
It's a weird example.
It is a discount, but like I still don't see myself spending that much money one night.
Me too. It's a weird example in the sense that like it's not one of this typical like, oh, we can stay here as long as we want, or this is a no-brainer redemption. This is a unique one in that it's a very exclusive hotel. There's 5 in the world. It's a special experience, similar to like Calala Island. But I agree, you really should consider if there's better options out there.
Yeah, honestly, Marriott, Chase, Amex, if you're listening, you got to increase those multipliers on the Marriott cards. No one's spending on them. Like even IHG cards are 3x spending now. The fact that you only earn 2x is a big L when you can earn 2x transferable currencies on other cards. So that's why it's hard to get a lot of these points.
Yeah, definitely. I want to ask you, what do you think would be... I wish so badly that Amex or Chase would change the transfer rates to Marriott because, 1-to-1 is stupid. Like, that's ridiculous. I can cash my points out and buy more Marriott points for that. What do you think would be a rate at which, you could transfer Amex or Chase points over to Marriott that you would consider being good value on the tier of Hyatt, let's say?
Okay, if Hyatt points are worth 2 cents per point, let's say as base value, and Marriott points are worth maybe 0.7, 0.8 cents per point, then it's probably like 3 Marriott points, 1 Hyatt points. At least we need to be looking at a 1-to-3 ratio for it to be worth it.
I agree. I think I would seriously
consider
consider
1-to-1 is a joke. Yeah. No, I think 1-to-1 is a joke. Like, there's people that still transfer Marriott points because it's free anyway. Like this is a free night. And I think that's a really bad mindset to be using because you're flushing value down the toilet because you could have gone so many more nights, so much more value, but transferring to Hyatt instead.
Definitely. And especially the fact that you can literally just buy them for less than a cent per piece.
Yeah.
So you can actually just cash your points out, buy more Marriott points, have money left over. Like that's, ridiculous to me that people would transfer these programs with that.
Yeah. So either way, those are some of the top hotel highlights we have for you today. Of course, there are other ones. Leave a comment down below if you think other ones would be good on this list. But join us next week for the next episode where we talk about the world's best flight redemptions. But anyway, if you enjoyed today's episode, please give us a like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. It really helps with the algorithm and helps more people see our videos and our podcast. We're trying to grow this channel. Additionally, if you're interested in earning some of these points to stay at these places, or earning points in general, or signing up for a credit card in general, please check out our referral links down in the description below. You have no idea how much it helps if you sign up using one of our links. Sean, do you want to plug our Discord?
Yeah, so if you want to join an elite group of award travelers 100% for free, please consider joining the Travel Lane Discord server at the link in the description. For some of these very hard to book places, I have actually dropped award dump alerts to people on the server that have allowed them to book these amazing hotels at this rare opportunity. Again, completely for free, not selling a course or anything like that. No charge at all. And yeah, it's a great place to connect with other award travelers. But so thank you so much for watching, and we will see you next week.